Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to do your Sacred Union reading. So this is ideally done at the Equinox to start our journey. But if your cards have not arrived, do not have kittens, it will be okay. You can do the reading whenever they do arrive. It's just good to do when you start the journey, because that way you know beforehand which archetypes maybe the more challenging months and which ones will be a bit more smooth sailing. So you will see in your course materials a file that says Sacred Union Archetype Chart, like this. And what you'll need to do is download this and print it out. This is so you can record your reading. You'll see on the sheet we've got the feminine aspects and the masculine aspects that govern each of the chakras. And you'll put your name in here and you're going to date it. So periodically, I would suggest every 9 months, which is a full gestation cycle, you can update your reading. But in this journey, I would be doing it at the autumn equinox and then again at the end of the course. Okay, so we put the name in. I'm going to put Tanishka. And today's date is the 20th of the 9th. Yes, that is right, 2014. Okay, so what you'll need is the cards out of this Sacred Union Oracle deck. Okay, the book will arrive separately, so the box will feel quite empty, but the book is definitely part of this deck. All right, so what you're going to need to do is divide your deck into the feminine cards and the masculine cards, so that you've got a deck of just goddesses on one side and gods on the other. Then you'll have 3 cards left over. Now these cards are the levels of awareness, okay, that each one of the archetypes can be running at. So we're going to use these cards to ascertain the level of awareness that each archetype is within us at the moment. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is, we'll start with the ladies. I'm a bit of a gypsy. You can shuffle like a normal shuffle if you want, but yeah, I like to, I'll show you how I like to shuffle. I like to make a mess, like a kid with Lego on the floor, okay? So this is still a valid way to shuffle. It puts your energy all through the cards. I'll just put these ones out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get clear and I'm going to ask which feminine archetype is currently driving my bus. Which archetype is currently the strongest one within me? Oh, it's that one. Aphrodite. Interesting. Okay. So then I'm going to repeat that process now for which archetype out of the goddesses is the next dominant in my psyche. It's that one. Artemis. Okay, who's third within my psyche? It's this one. Demeter. And just trust the one that you're gravitating towards, the one that you feel pulled towards. There's no right or wrong way. Fourth is this one, Ishtar. So this is who I am in my heart of hearts. Who comes up in your 4th position? It's the heart center, the 4th chakra. Okay, it's this one next, Lilith, this one, and finally, Athena. Well, that is a surprise, let me tell you. So, I would then put on my chart the order of dominance that they came up in. So I'd be putting here Aphrodite, because she came up as number 1, the one who's currently the most dominant in my psyche. Next is Artemis. Next we have Demeter. Then Ishtar. Then Lilith. then Hecate, and then finally we have Athena. Interesting, I just noticed there's a mistake on that card. Oh no, I can see her, I just couldn't see her. Phew. Okay, so then, before we go any further, we need to find out how they're trucking. So I'm going to focus my attention just on Aphrodite, and I'm going to shuffle these 3 cards, which can feel a bit weird shuffling only 3 cards. And that one feels like the one, the Aphrodite, she's at the conscious level. Now these can change, so just because I have an archetype coming up at the conscious level today doesn't mean that she won't come up at an unconscious level another day. Okay. So Artemis, how's my Artemis doing at the moment? This one wants to come out unconscious. There we go. Not a good day for Artemis. So we'll put unconscious there. Interesting, because my throat was sore today. She governs the throat chakra. So there's obviously a block happening in my throat at the moment. So Demeter, let's have a look. Focusing now on Demeter. How's my inner Demeter doing? This one wants to come out conscious. And so on. So we fill this in all the way down. I won't do it all now because it will take, you know, a long time. But now we're going to focus on the male archetypes. So we get our deck of blocks and we shuffle them. I'm going to do it this way again. I'm going to ask which inner god is currently dominant. That one wants to come out. Interesting, the counterpart to Aphrodite, Aries. All right. Okay, which masculine that one was wanting to come up next? Which is Dionysus. Next, that one, Apollo. That one, Pan. Interesting. Chiron, this one, Green Man, and last Hermes. Okay, so then again I would write their names down. Aries first, followed by Dionysus, followed by Apollo, Pan, Chiron, Green Man, and then finally Hermes. Okay, and I would repeat that same process for each one of the gods, shuffling, pulling out a card for each one. Now, what that shows me, and I'll just show you here, Aphrodite was coming up at the conscious level, so I would tick her at the conscious level. Whereas Artemis I had come up at the unconscious level, so I'm going to tick that one there, and so on. So, once you've got that drawn up, you've got, if you will, a snapshot of what your energy body is currently doing. In other words, if you have an archetype that is running at the unconscious level, all right? So, Artemis in my case at the moment, that tells me that the energy center there is closed at the moment. The energy is not flowing. There's a block, all right? So, whereas my Aphrodite energy in my sacral and my Demeter energy in my heart, they're both open because they're coming up at the conscious level. So the energy is flowing in this gate, which is the ability to give and receive, and also sensual pleasure and creativity. Those centers are open and the energy is flowing freely, which is great. So that also tells me that in this Hieros Gamos journey, the month when I get to the throat chakra might be a bit more challenging than the month that I work with Aphrodite and Demeter. So you'll start to see patterns emerge in your spread as well. You might have, as I do, the two archetypes that govern the same chakra driving my bus together. So we can see here that sensuality is kind of front and center for me at the moment, you know, and creativity and joy and play. So, yeah, and you know, you'll also realize that the people that you're attracting into your life, it's interesting, I'm even wearing the color of the dominant chakra for me at the moment. You know, you'll start to see all these synchronicities. But yeah, you'll attract people into your life that will mirror the state of your inner marriage. So I'll probably attract around me a lot of Aphrodites that are emotionally intelligent and mature. Whereas I might attract around me some people that haven't dealt with their issues. People that really need to, yeah, do some work on their own healing, not just try and heal others. So you'll start to see, once you've got this, you know, insight into the state of health and well-being of each one of these aspects, how that gets mirrored for you in your life. So then you can go to the book and you give yourself a mini reading. There's an explanation of each one of these when they come up at the unconscious level, the semi-conscious level, and the conscious level, as well as different patterns that you can see in your reading. So I'd love you to post your findings on the group forum, and if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.